I'm going to read some Reddit today. It's going to be Am I Overreacting? This poor guy is not overreacting, in my opinion. I'll just let it out there now. He's having several felonies committed against him by his girlfriend, and she's trying to gaslight him into believing it's all okay. Let's see what you guys think, though, because what do I know? I'm a little extreme, you know. So let's read. Situation is, I, mid-20s male, have been dating my girlfriend for just under 2 years. I currently make a very decent amount of money, and she knows this. I'm also very on top of my finances, credit, and stuff. She, maybe not so much. I typically pay my credit card down to zero, regardless of the balance every month. In December, I was traveling and doing some budgeting, so I just happened to check my statement. I noticed just a handful of charges that I didn't recognize. Some shopping online, some random stores and shit, and some cash advance transactions, which I get charged a fee for. Not a big deal in and of itself. So I reported the changes, got a new card, and proceeded carefully with my card info going forward. I did not accuse anyone and just chalked it up to bad luck. Fast forward a few months, my friends and I planned this trip to Mexico for about 2 weeks. Before traveling here, I told my credit card company that I would be out of the country, so there would be no problems with purchasing things here, etc. They called me and told me that they had flagged some charges and wanted to know if I was back from my vacation yet. I started putting two and two together and came to the realization that it could only be my girlfriend, and I'm really crushed right now about this. I confronted her, and these are the messages. I feel like I'm being gaslit about this. I really just don't want to see her because I'm so angry, and I don't want her to be at my house when I get back. But I understand she lives there, and I can't just kick her out. Am I overreacting? Let's see the text. We got to see the text. This is Goldie. She's judging the situation too. All right, let's see these texts. So OPR says, "Good morning, babe. When you wake up, I need to talk to you about something serious." She says, "I just left the gym. Is everything okay?" He says, "I'm okay. So I got woken up to a call from Amex this morning for a fraud alert about some purchases on my card. I had to temporarily lock my card. This is the last thing I want to deal with right now." And her name's blocked out. I won't read that. "And I'm very frustrated." What do you think? Is she on some BS? She's on some BS, right? Okay, we'll see. We don't know yet. We don't know. She says, "Oh God, that's awful. What do you need from me? Can I help at all?" And then she says, I'm sorry, babe. That's so annoying, especially while you're traveling." He says, "Yeah, it's very annoying. I'm just going to be direct and ask you why and how are you using my credit card?" Because he already knew it was her, and she's just trying to play dumb. She goes, "Wait, me? What do you mean?" He says, "Please just be honest with me. It says they were purchases for $36 at such and such store, and then another $224 at another store. Both spots are local in Austin," which must be where she is. And remember, he's on vacation. And then she says, "So you're saying I did something? Babe, how would I be using your credit card if it's with you?" Girl. As if cards don't get loaded in phones and all that. Like, come on. Anyway, he says, "I don't know. I'm asking you directly. I don't want to accuse you of doing anything if I don't have the full picture, but from where I stand, this is the only thing that makes any sense. So did you use my card at such and such store?" And she said, "Why would you automatically think it's me?" Well, probably because they live together, and so their finances probably get mixed together at some points, and I'm sure he doesn't do that with other people. Just my guess. And then he says, "Because this already happened months ago, so there's a pattern. because this already happened months ago. I assume my card just got skimmed or something. I don't know, but I replaced it and it didn't happen again. Now I'm out of the country and it happens again. I'm sorry, but you have to understand how it looks to me. Just answer my question, please. Are you using my card? I think he's being very mature and handling this very well. My goodness. And then she says, well, I did a couple times, like back in September. I thought it was okay, though. It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. What the hell do you mean it wasn't like that? What else is it like? If you don't have combined finances and there's no prior agreement, you don't use somebody's card. I don't give a shit. If it's your boyfriend, I don't give a shit. If you're living with them, that's just not okay. And he says, it wasn't like what? So you're saying you didn't try to use my card yesterday at blank, only back in September? And she said, I just didn't think it would be a big deal. I used it before to buy some of the furniture for the house like you said I could. So more and more is coming out. So he says, so you copied my card number and betrayed my trust or what? I don't think you're being honest with me. So are you telling me that you didn't use my card yesterday? And before you didn't take cash out from somewhere with my credit card? She says, I didn't copy your credit card number. When I took it to buy the furniture, it added it to my Apple Wallet. I call bullshit because when something needs to be added to the Apple Wallet, you have to approve that. And I think you even have to jump through hoops to put it in there, like on the phone. So I call bullshit on that. Anyway, she says, I didn't copy your card number. When I took it to buy the furniture, it added it to my Apple Wallet. I may have used it just a few times in between then and now. You're making it sound like I stole money from you or something. You're making it sound very dramatic. Number one, you did steal money from him, girl. You did steal money. That's stealing money. By definition, that is stealing money. And he's not making it very dramatic. He's being very calm. He's treating you with respect. And he says, well, that's because it's a big deal to me. I'm just confused. What are you using cash advances for anyway? Why wouldn't you just ask me? So they must have a type of relationship where if she needs something, she can just ask him for money anyway. So why is she doing this? He said, why wouldn't you just ask me? And she said, I never got any cash out of the card. I don't know what you're talking about, I swear. And then he sends a screenshot showing where she got money off of the card. It says, this isn't for that much, but I certainly did not do it. Right around the time I left for Mexico. She wants to be on camera. Okay. She says, oh, okay. I see. So the card is on my Apple Pay. So I must have been defaulting to yours on accident when I use Venmo to pay like my friends and stuff. I'm really sorry. You have to trust me here. This was a mistake. When you use a phone to make a purchase, it lets you choose the card and you know damn well which card you're paying with. She was just hoping he didn't notice. She was like embezzling from her boyfriend and was hoping he wasn't gonna notice. That's exactly what she was doing. That's ridiculous. He said, so was it a mistake to spend $200 at wherever, we'll say Target. So was it a mistake to spend $200 at Target yesterday too on my card? I just don't understand. Why wouldn't you just ask me for the money if you needed it? This is low. You know how I am about this kind of stuff, and you exploited my worst insecurities. And that's not cool. If he's already voiced his insecurities and his traumas to her and she exploited that, that's wrong on so many levels. Her response to that is, I truly just didn't think much of it. Goldie, what do you think? She says, I truly just didn't think much of it. You'd been paying your card off all the same. I just didn't think it would hurt you as much. So because you know he's paying off the card anyway, it's his card though, your name's not on it. You know he's paying it off, you just think he's not paying attention as much as he should. And so you're gonna try to exploit that and then act like he's not, act like he's crazy for calling you out on it. When you are stealing, that is stealing. She said, I truly just didn't think much of it. You've been paying for your card all the same. I just didn't think it would hurt you as much. He said, that doesn't make it okay. Come on. He said, that doesn't make it okay. Come on. You know I would do anything for you. And if you asked for the sun, I'd have climbed Everest to try to get it for you. Stealing from me is not okay. Okay, and is that not the sweetest way he could have said that? This girl is not only spoiled, but something's wrong with her. How you gonna steal from a man like this? Or anybody, but like, you could tell this guy is kind-hearted. She says to that, it wasn't ever a ton of money at a time. I ultimately plan to pay you back, but I guess I do also understand why you are upset about it. It wasn't ever a ton of money at a time. That's not the point. Get permission then. Ask. If it's not that big of a deal, ask. He clearly wants to take care of you. Ask him. Don't steal. That just shows ulterior motives. Number 2, how is he so sweet to her even though she is clearly awful? She is blessed and she doesn't deserve that treatment. And then she has the nerve to say, but I guess I do also understand why you're upset about it. If you guess you're upset, then you don't really understand it. I don't like her. I hope he leaves her because she's going to be using the shit out of him for the rest of his life. And there are women out there that don't do that. There are women out there that get used just like that. She says, I guess I do understand why you're upset about it. He says, you cash advanced $500 in December. It's not about whether or not it's a lot to me, but you realize that it's simply not okay. You've been doing this for months. When was the repayment going to start? When was the repayment going to start? And when was the conversation about the repayment going to start? And to that she said, I needed money at the time and I just didn't know how to ask you at the time. I'm sorry. He says, LMAO, I'm sorry. I can't have too much sympathy for you. You live with me and I pay my mortgage and don't ask you for anything. I already pay for everything for you. You know I would have helped you. What the hell is she stealing from him for? That's ultimate greed. It's crazy to me how these are the types of women that have the men wanting to spoil them. Because, let me read this. He said, LMAO, I'm sorry. I can't have too much sympathy for you because you live with me. I pay the mortgage. I pay my mortgage and don't ask for anything from you. I already pay for everything for you. You know I would have helped you. And you never have had a problem asking me for anything. I love to spoil you. You know that. So do you have to be like a straight up gold digger in order to get men to want to spoil you? It makes no sense. The girls that don't want to use you assholes are out here getting used by women who clearly don't want to be a partner. And then she says to him after that, when he could be way worse, he could have had her locked up, by the way. She says, you're acting like I'm some sort of criminal or something. Like, please just take a deep breath. I'm sorry. Girl, this is a criminal act. This is nefarious. This is a criminal act. What the hell are you thinking if you don't think that's a criminal act? So he says to that, no, I'm acting like you just broke all the trust I had for you. Exactly. He's not even worried about the cops or legal acts. He's just worried because his trust has been broken. He's clearly had a trauma that he's told you exploited by you. That's the issue. So he said, no, I'm acting like you had just broke all the trust I had for you. It's been so hard for me in the past few years to open up to people like I have to you, and this is the exact reason why. This is exactly what I've been afraid of. And that's the damn truth. It's so awful. People are just cruel. And then she says, I feel like you're blowing it slightly out of proportion. Okay, I would leave her. Leave her. I would have left her anyway, but ooh, how dare you say that? How dare you? So he said, don't tell me how to feel about this situation. Good. My bank locked my card and called me about possible fraud while I was in a different country. Do you not understand that this is a major deal to me? Do you get how bad that looks? Okay, so she says, I apologize. You're focusing on the wrong thing. He says, and what is the right thing to focus on for me? She says that I was stressed, that I was scared, and didn't know what I was going to do. Now you're making me feel like a terrible person for that. And then he says, you're pissing me the F off. Cut the victim shit. You're not a victim. If anyone is, then it's me. But I'm not even playing that card. So be a woman and help me understand why you'd hide something like this from me instead of just talking to me. Make it make sense to me. The poor guy wants to hold on so bad. She said, I feel like you don't trust me sometimes, like the way you're interrogating me and talking to me right now. Because it's happened before, sweetheart, and you've been malicious and you've been deceptive before. Right now, it feels like you're holding your money over my head. There's a big difference. And then he put 3 question marks and he said, I'm laughing out loud. When have I ever held money over your head? I've never asked you to pay me back. Made you feel bad about not paying for anything ever. I deserve the same honesty and respect I give to you, my girlfriend. Amen. I always put you first. How the hell am I holding money over your head? I told you I was sorry and I don't want to know what else you want from me at this point. He says, I feel like I want you to understand why it's a big deal to me and why I'm so hurt. If you don't get it, then you don't get it. But I want to be frank with you and let you know that I'm reconsidering this whole thing. Good. I have a few more days here and I don't want to be consumed with all of this while I try to enjoy the rest of my trip with my friends. I've given it too much time this morning already. I don't want to talk to you in between now and when I get back. We will talk in person and then figure this out, but I'm incredibly hurt and questioning a lot of things. Poor guy. She says, I'm sorry. I feel like I'm being punished and it was never supposed to be that big of a deal. I love you immensely and never wanted to hurt you. I hope you can understand this was a huge mistake on my part and I don't want to lose you over this. I love you more than I can even put into words. I fucked up. Yeah, you fucked up, bitch. Yeah, you fucked up. And because now he knows he's using you. You're using him for money. Because if you don't pay rent, you don't pay anything. That's not common. That doesn't happen all the time. Okay. Most people support themselves. Like, even when they have a boyfriend, they're not getting completely supported. So I don't know what the hell fantasy world you live on, sweetheart. But you should have been happy with what you had, because I hope this poor guy doesn't give you any more of his resources and his money and his time, because you don't deserve it. And you are a criminal. Those are felonies. Well, they're misdemeanors. Depends how much you've stolen. I'm sure you've hit a felony by now. It depends how much. But this is why equality